What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley here. We've got Coach on the road. Look at you in that beautiful Ford, right? Ford?
That's right. Yeah, the F-150, baby.
And it is. I'm excited for today. A lot to talk about, Coach, as well as a lot to discuss here on YSN. We've got 9 games on the network tonight, all for a little bit of playoffs, a little bit of baseball, and a little bit of exhibition softball for some of these first-round buys. Is there one game in particular that, I don't know, maybe you're headed to that stands out to you?
Yeah, I'm real interested to see this Louisville team. I'm heading down to do their game with Canton McKinley over in Louisville tonight, and obviously coming off of a huge win over the weekend, beating previously undefeated Ursuline. So, it seems like the Leopards, they know how to get it going during playoff time, and when that season comes around, they know how to roll through. We saw it 2 years ago when they won the state championship, and maybe a preview of things to come.
It's funny. We talk about that, and you and I had a little discussion today about was the Louisville versus Ursuline game an upset, or was it to be expected by a former state champion? You think that it was an upset? I think along those same lines. But is this the game that Louisville kind of gets kickstarted and headed towards the direction of defending their title?
Yeah, I think the thing that everybody got to remember about that Louisville team from 2 years ago is that it was 2 years ago. There's only one girl on that squad, or on the squad this year, that played any kind of time at all on that state championship team 2 years ago. So, they got things rolling, and honestly, it may be the best thing that happened to Ursuline, too, because they may have needed that shot in the arm to get themselves going for playoff time here, too.
Are you a subscriber of the I guess the notion of it's better to lose a game now and maybe that gets your mind back on track as opposed to wait until the playoffs for a couple close games? Are you a subscriber to that?
Yeah, as a coach, it's hard because you never want to lose a game. Anybody that's worth their salt in coaching is a competitive person, but you would obviously rather have that happen before the tournament starts. And, sometimes it's just what you need to get refocused on what your team goals are and what you need to do going forward. And you can definitely use it as a motivational thing as a coach.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's get to our national topic of the day, National Clean Up Your Room Day. Coach, I know you to be a clean freak, so are you the guy that that takes one day a week to clean up your room, or do you do it a little bit every day to make sure that place is immaculate?
I'm a Sunday night guy. It's my thing to do on Sunday night. There's, usually a game or something on, and I can throw it on a couple of different TVs while I'm bouncing around the house and stay up to date on the game and do my laundry and, mop the floor and, single guy problems, man. I got to do it all myself.
It's funny you say that because I went from would put my stuff everywhere around the house whenever I was living with mom and dad when I was younger, and then you get married and all of a sudden you're trying to impress your spouse. You're trying to make sure that they didn't marry a complete slob, and everybody says, well, it comes back, right? You go back to what you are at your very nature. It hasn't come back yet. I mean, here and there, like our house is a mess right now because we're doing renovations, but I would say that more often than not, I've kind of stuck to the impressing my spouse side of things. So I don't have a National Clean Up Your Room Day, but typically, especially when we're busy this time of year, like my shirts go into like my corner and they just start stockpiling. They just start going, hoodie, especially in Ohio weather. You got a hoodie, a cutoff, jeans, then you got shorts. I mean, it's one of those scenarios where, okay, then you just put everything right into the basket and take it down and wash it. Or in my case,
that's right.
My lovely wife washes them for me in most cases.
Well, and let's be real here, DJ. You haven't reverted because you severely outkicked your coverage. And a hat tip to you on that because you still have to impress Sarah.
Every day I have to impress her, especially after the weekend I had. We spent a lot of money. I spent a lot of money this weekend, and I owe her big for that. Speaking of that, hang on, excuse me. The Peyton Strong event over the weekend was absolutely phenomenal. If you were out there to see it, YSN was well represented, as I'm very, very proud of. Steve Leslie did a fantastic job as the MC. I will also say that Quinn and Jeff Bezos did a phenomenal job of just all hands on deck, whatever they needed. Those guys took to it. So thanks to everybody that put on a great event. Thanks to the golfers. Thanks to the auction bidders all over the place. There was a Chinese auction. There was a live auction that Steve and I tried to entertain people with. We're getting the totals little by little. The live auction alone brought in almost $21,000.
Wow.
We're hearing numbers north of $50,000 for the weekend. So, I mean, you look at that and you think about what that can do and how that can affect the family. So, I want to say thank you to everybody who took part in that, whether you were a donor, a sponsor. Again, you bid during the live auction, you contributed to the Chinese auction. This young lady, we got a chance to meet. She flew in on a private jet. The happiest young lady you'll ever meet. I can only imagine what she's going through, and to be able to smile through it in her family, her mom and dad, we got to meet them as well as her brothers. What a great family. And again, I'll say this a zillion times if I'll say it once, is no child ever has to or should have to go through anything like cancer or a severe sickness or health problems. When you're a kid, you're supposed to be a kid, and you're supposed to have fun and learn and grow and not have to go through these things. And I understand that there's adversity that everybody goes through. However, to look in her eyes and to see the smile on her face, I know it inspired me. I know it inspired my girls. My girls were excited to see her as we had no idea she'd be there. So what a great weekend for that. And the weather was, even though it was cold, it held off. The rain held off a little bit. Unlike on Sunday, it completely started blasting us. But I will say this, that it was a great event. And there's a guy that was at the event, Quinn.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Hi.
We started
Welcome to
3
work.
o'clock. We started 3 o'clock these days.
I have no idea how the internet's going to work. I'm not going to lie to you.
We were just talking about the Peyton Strong event and the party for Peyton after party. What were your takeaways from that? You did such a good job of representing not only us but helping out around the event.
Oh, it was incredible. It was an incredible thing. I mean, we got to see so many people that came out, and just to share their love and support and everything like that was incredible. Being a part of that live auction, watching you guys do it, you and Steve, and watching Jeff do Jeff things. It was incredible, and raised a good amount of money for it. And it was awesome. And getting to meet Peyton and seeing her come by and stuff, it was a very special moment.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that came through there that was not affected. That wasn't just on their heart. So it was, again, just a fantastic day. I ended up with a couple of new toys at the live auction, courtesy of my wife. Whenever she gives the nod, like I looked over to her and she goes like this, just like she was in on it. So I walked away with a Ben Roethlisberger autographed jersey, as well as some Pirates swag and a Brian Reynolds autographed jersey as well. The sports memorabilia was phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. But before we get to anything else, as we talked about last week, we are using the Power Hour this week and the Power Hour next week as a launching point for getting people out there and getting our all-YSN teams out there. So we are introducing 10 players a day until Friday for softball this week. And then we're going to do the same thing with baseball next week. So without further ado,
in no particular order.
No particular order. Want to get that out there. We're not ranking players, although that's something we have on our agenda for this fall of a power. What is it? What do we call them? A power list or whatever that is. But anyway, we'll get to the all YSN team. No particular order. Again, 10 to be released every day. So if you do the quick math, that's 50 per team here on the YSN Power Hour. So without further ado, here is your day one all YSN softball team. And congratulations to day one of our All-YSN softball team. There you saw it was Austintown Fitch, Beaver Local, Boardman, Brookfield, Camel, Canfield, and Champion represented. So congratulations quickly through the day ones. Just unbelievable. We have so much talent in this area. We talk about it all the time that it's hard to pick just one or two players from each team. But you look at a Lydia Spalding, you look at a Maddie Taylor from Austintown Fitch, just unbelievable team. And back-to-back for the first time since the 90s, I think I heard Anthony say. An incredible honor to have these young ladies and these young men, in case of baseball, in our area playing the sport for what they do and why they love it. So we're happy to honor these young men and young ladies throughout the next 2 weeks on the All-YSN team. There are plans, I will let you know, a little bit of inside baseball here. There are plans to have an all-star game with the softball and the baseball participants here of the All-YSN team. So if you made it, you should be receiving a letter of some sort, whether it's digital or through email or reaching out to your school and getting a letter printed out there as well to be a participant in the YSN All-Star Game, whether it be softball or baseball. So excited for that, and I think there's going to be a lot of good competition, a lot of good fun, and once we get the stuff finalized on that, so the dates and the actual where the event's going to be held. We have a couple ideas where we want it to be held, but we're working through the details right now. So again, congratulations to the All-YSN team, day one, and we'll have, again, 10 per day all the way through Friday, and that'll conclude our softball portion. And then next week we will start the baseball teams. Good luck to all the softball teams as they start playoffs literally in about an hour and a half. I mean, these teams are probably on the bus right now tuning in. Matt, you talk about Louisville. They're playing McKinley tonight. There's a lot on the line there. Two good teams going head-to-head out in Leopard City. Are you expecting the Leopards to handle their business? Oh, his mic's out. Billy Mack says, congratulations. We got something from Kate here, too. Billy, please start impressing me by cleaning my room on National Clean Your Room Day. So, got that. Quinn, you're a constant clean freak, so I don't have to ask you if it's clean your room day.
Oh, absolutely. Every room. Clean every room day. Every day.
What else do we have here? Let's talk sports memorabilia. Talk to me about what's the best sports swag you own.
That's tough because I got some stuff that is special to me that might not be special to other people. Like Derek Rivers played at YSU. I was part of his career at YSU. I've got all of his jerseys from when he's played in the NFL signed by him and stuff like that. I have one of his jerseys hanging in my basement actually. One of his, I think, Super Bowl jerseys signed and stuff like that. So that's something special to me. Avery Moss, same thing. He was at YSU. That's a lie, by the way. That's a lie. I just don't have room to sit. I have basketballs and stuff in my car. It's clean, but it's not that. I would say, though, the probably the coolest thing I have, I've got a ball signed by the 86 Browns. My dad got me. It was part of the drive and the fumble and all that garbage.
You weren't even born in 86.
I was not, but being a Browns fan and stuff, it's pretty cool. And then my love for Tim Couch is bigger than probably anybody else in this world. And you got me an autographed helmet by him for my birthday, which was pretty special to me too.
There you go, buddy. I have probably 10 Ben Roethlisberger autographs in my house. So to get another one the other night was a little bit overkill. But you knew I had my eyes on that. I was not letting that get out of my grasp. You were actually taking the total amounts for the items, mm-hmm. And you did a good job with that, working with Angie. But when that item went up for bid, did you know how much it was going to go for? Did you have an idea of how much it was going to go for? Because I had no clue.
I didn't have an idea of how much it was going to go for, but when it came up, I just put your name next to it, so I knew it was going to you. I didn't know how much it was going to go for. I figured kind of like that was the high end. What it ended up going for was the high end of what I thought. So it was kind of that ballpark. But yeah, I had no idea. I really didn't.
It's not good being a competitor and being in a live bidding war.
No.
Like it's like I mean eBay, you have time to think about things. Like I loved being on the younger years on eBay, but dude, let me tell you, when you're doing that in a live auction setting, like you get aggressive as a bidder.
Especially if you know like what it's going towards and stuff like that. Like that would give me a little bit more incentive.
How about BMAC here? My Terrible Towel signed by Big Ben, Ike Taylor, Deshae Townsend, a few other players. Also a mini Steelers helmet with a few autographs.
I appreciate that, but I think it's stupid because it's Pittsburgh.
Okay. Thanks, Quinn. Thanks for your 2 cents. I appreciate that.
Of course, I hate Pittsburgh.
Billy is making the trip down to Edison. He'll have the Edison softball game for us tonight. And listen, I'm so excited for him because he made a distinct promise to Edison baseball, Edison softball. He would be there. And by golly, he is heading down the river. And he's going to take care of our friends, the Wildcats, tonight. And I know they're excited. They're ramped up because they're getting one of the best in Billy Mack. So, Billy, just be careful down there. I know there's not a whole lot of service, so we're probably going to lose you here in a little bit. Oh, look, Anthony Hartwood throwing
I promise you, he's got everything. He is set.
Cool.
Anthony throwing a novel at us here. What a list of names just for day one. Lydia Spalding is the lefty going to Penn State next year. She can spin it. Plus, she's a great leadoff hitter in that lineup. Maddie Taylor is just strong. Watch that girl in the weight room and you'll be impressed. Hits for power average, also a lockdown at first base as well. So Anthony, I mean, he's our softball guru when it comes to knowing the players inside of the batting lineup. He knows them up and down. So when he gives you a little bit of a little tip of the cap, take it for what it's worth. It's like winning a Golden Globe at the professional level. Might do some fishing on the way home. All right, Billy, I can appreciate that. Not much of a fisherman myself. Coach, what's the best sports swag you own?
I think my favorite piece is I've got a signed by Joe Thomas. I was able to meet him and speak with him for a little while at an event 2 years ago. So it was pre-retired. And I tried to get him, he wouldn't do it. I tried to get him to the Hall of Fame year on it already because I think we all know that's going to happen. But he's a humble guy and he didn't want to do that. But it was really cool to meet Joe.
I can imagine, and I gotta believe you have a ton of sports swag. I mean, we see your office every day on the show, practically.
Yeah.
Is there something that you've ever thought about you get, and then you've ever thought about selling?
I did actually sell something, and I had a LeBron James jersey that I sold when he left Cleveland the first time, Ooh. And I do regret doing it. It was, a decision that was made kind of in the heat of the moment. A couple of my buddies tried to burn it, but I wouldn't do that. But I do regret selling it only for the fact that the value is just going to go nuts on it eventually.
Quinn, what are you doing?
Right now, I am trying to figure out why my watch is vibrating on me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I just saw him play around with his watch.
It's like it's nonstop vibrating, but nothing's like on it. Like it's vibrating. I don't know what's going on.
Nice job.
And it can't be a workout. I promise you, it's not a workout.
Have you ever, Quinn? Have you ever sold something like a piece of sports memorabilia? Maybe you regret.
I've never sold anything. I've thought about it, and I couldn't come to doing it. It was I have a Ken Griffey Jr. signed baseball, and I thought about signing it when I thought about selling it when he got his unanimous Hall of Fame and all that stuff. Like legitimately considered selling it, and then I was like, nah, I'll hate myself the rest of my life if I do that.
I would have hated you. I would have hated your guts straight up.
Yeah, so I got that. I don't think I'll ever sell it, but I contemplated it. I really did.
That's crazy.
Price is right, though. I mean,
that's
I'll trade
family
it for
heirloom.
a Corvette or something. Like, I'll trade it.
What would the price be for you? What would the outgoing price be?
What's the going rate for a brand new, fully loaded Corvette? That'd be my price.
78.
Sure, something like that.
Kate had a Jerry Rice autograph for her cousin once, and she partially regrets giving it to him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Should have held on to that one, Kate.
Signed Joe Hayden jersey. He regrets it. Well, I mean, you're buddies with him. Go get a Steelers autographed Joe Hayden jersey. I'm sure he'd give you one of those.
Well, Mac had him on the phone last week on the show.
Should have just asked him. Should have just asked him. I've got so many autograph memorabilia. My number one is my Hulk Hogan. My sister got me a Hulk Hogan autograph T-shirt, Hulkamania T-shirt, for my 30th birthday, and actually she got me him talking to me, and like before Cameo was a thing, she got that, and he said, "Let me tell you something, DJ. Let me tell you something, brother. Pressing giants ain't nothing. Doing this ain't nothing." Da, 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 da. And then he's like, "But your birthday, that's something, brother." And then after he did the whole thing, he asked my sister. He goes, "Well, how old's your brother?" Expecting him, 10, and she's like, "He's 30." And he just shook his head, like, I don't like 30-year-olds are like the home run for Hulk Hogan, right? That's like us.
Hell yeah.
Back in the day, like we were the Hulkamaniacs. We were the guys he was telling to train, eat our vitamins, and say our prayers. So I don't know why he was so like mad about that. Like I'm still worshiping the guy to this day. So take that, Hulkster. I'm interested. I mean, there's nothing that I think I would ever sell because everything I have has a story. Either it be the way I got it, the way I acquired it, or how it was given to me. But the Andrew McCutcheon picture that I have was given to me by my brothers-in-law, and it means an awful lot to me because they knew my passion for Kutch. They knew my passion for sports and obviously for the Pirates. And I know it cost them a good shekel to be able to get that. And that was my only gift that year from on Christmas from them, and I appreciate it greatly because it hangs proudly on my wall right next to my Ben Roethlisberger autographed picture, which will accompany my Ben Roethlisberger autographed jersey now. So I'm excited for that. We have Anthony chiming in saying Eric Hosmer is my favorite autograph. Is that a ball or what is it? He's over here. He's still in the studio.
He just turned her.
See if he chimes in like in real time, like over here, or if he chimes in the chat box, which is soon to be sponsored, by the way. Is it a ball?
It's a poster.
It's a poster. It's a poster.
He told me the story on that one today before the post show, and we were talking about how sometimes you go to these events and they make you purchase something. You have to have signed what they've got available. And it was at a steakhouse, and it was like a poster that was stamped with the steakhouse's logo on it.
Uh-huh. They get you, man. They say, "Come on in," and you got to buy like a certain amount of meals to do it. Yeah, he wasn't. Jerry Rice wasn't nice the day I got it, so I also didn't want to keep it. That's not Jerry Rice. I think he'd be a nice guy.
Never meet your heroes.
Billy McCartney says, "Quinn, I hope you have a great practice."
Thanks, Billy. Hope you have fun down on the river. Stop
Paige
it
says, "I got a hammer signed by Jamie Gillian, a.k.a. the Scottish Hammer, when he came to Salem last year."
That's pretty
interesting. Cool. You want to talk about the auction at the Peyton Strong event? Jeff Bezos walked away with an axe. Legitimately, and he let everybody know about it too. He won it in the Chinese auction. He walked away with an axe. Like I had TJ Watt shoes, like game worn, autographed, one on one side, one on the other. I put them down, and the table had Jeff's axe on it. And Jeff got mad that the cleat touched his axe. He said, "Get those dirty shoes off my axe." And so Bezos is all amped up about this axe, and I know that he's probably used it already multiple times on things that probably don't deserve to get axed. But I was so happy for him because he just kept saying, "I have an axe." Don't know what he's going to use it for. Zero clue, but he bought a crap ton of tickets and put half of them in the axe bucket or axe bag. So Jeff has an axe, so watch out, world. I guess that's what we can say. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the playoff situation that begins tonight for the softball teams, who we are keeping our eye on. and who we think might be a sleeper in this tournament. And there's a few of them, I think, that we can talk about. Anthony will be on tomorrow as well as Friday to kind of keep us on our toes as far as the softball playoffs go. But we're also going to, obviously, we're going to talk about our filet and our beefs here on the G. Burbick Farms. It's filet and what's your beef? Also, we're going to... No, I don't have... That's all I got. So we're going to talk about those two things when we come back on the Ysn Power Hour, brought to you by these awesome sponsors you're about to see.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
If you're looking for a new Ford vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of new Ford models. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your new Ford. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their new Ford at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Oakley with you, as well as Quinn in the office, and we also have Matt on the road. Before we get to anything else, I want to give some updates on the games at hand tonight on the network, starting with baseball. 5 p.m., you can watch Jefferson at South Range. B. Miller will have that call for you. Ian will be at Waterloo versus Lowellville. That's going to be played at Ysn Park. The school, Struthers, of course, will be having Lakeview at Struthers on Scene 3, so we'll have a little bit more NE8 coverage for you. Then we turn over to softball. I have Boardman at Crestview, my first trip out to the View this year for a softball game, so excited to see Coach Eskra and, of course, Coach Moots. So Ant will literally right now on his way out the door here and on to Gates Mills at Ursuline. That game's going to be played at YSU, another 5 p.m. start there. And then we got playoff softball out the wazoo, everybody. Jamie has Ashtabula St. John versus Brookfield. Barnesville at Edison. Billy Mack is on his way down the river to watch that game unfold. Bloomfield at Latonia. Alex going to have that game. And Canton McKinley versus Louisville. Coach Seidel, you have that game. All exciting. I think all in total we have 9 games on the network tonight, which is great, especially with the softball coverage we have here on YSN. So for more information and a full list of links and details about our games tonight, head over to ysnlive.com/live. And that is your remote control for the evening. All games brought to you free and courtesy of our sponsors. So make sure that you utilize them and utilize their services or their products, their goods, whatever they have, because they are making these games absolutely free for your enjoyment. Tomorrow, again, a lot of games there as well. We'll head over to the Keystone State at 4:15. That's when everything gets started, and then a lot of 5 o'clocks throughout the evenings. And I'm talking a lot. We are double digits easily tomorrow as long as the rain holds off. So hopefully we don't have another situation like we did last week. That was a bummer. That was just an absolute, just a killjoy for what we were doing and what everybody's doing. So let's talk about this softball playoff situation. We look at these games even tonight. Ashtabula St. John versus Brookfield, Barnesville versus Edison, Bloomfield versus Latonia, McKinley versus Louisville. You've got Cardinal versus Mineral Ridge, Maplewood versus Reserve. JFK and Lowellville got moved to Tuesday, and Wellsville at Sebring. So you look at some of these games, and like, there's a lot of sleepers out there. Louisville, actually, 2 years ago, it was brought to my attention, was a sleeper and kind of caught everybody off guard and got a little piece of that Lady Luck on their side and just drove the entire way with it all the way to a state championship. Is there anybody that you're looking at right now that is under the radar that could probably do some damage in this tournament because people are just looking past them?
You know, I think that for me it starts with this Louisville squad because of the fact that they're the quote-unquote reigning state champions. That was 2 years ago, and there's a lot of people that are maybe overlooking them a little bit because of the fact that, you know, kind of middle of the pack this year. But, you know, they proved over the weekend that if they get it going at the right time and they get hot at the right time, they can make a run.
I like that. I like that pick a lot. And Louisville has been a team that you just don't know what you're going to get. But clutch hitting will always be welcomed in a coach's world, right? You'd rather see, you know, especially these days, especially in playoffs, you only have to win by one, right? It's one and done. So if you can get their pitcher off their game or just sneak in a run or two on an error or unforced error or, you know, something drops or a duck fart in the left field, you're in good shape. You know, it's a great situation for you. Billy's saying Lisbon. He likes Lisbon as being a sleeper. Quinn, you're shaking your head, or nodding your head, rather. Do you like that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually right where I was going to go with it. I just pulled up the bracket here so I could get a better look on it and kind of be educated a little bit. But yeah, I like it. I like Lisbon. I like where they're at in the bracket. Looking at the bracket, I mean, I think it's very favorable for them. They hit the ball too. Lisbon hits the ball really well. Justice Vrabel does a great job hitting the ball. And then they got the pieces around her. I think if their pitching gets confident and, you know, the weather's nice out as always, you get a little bit better of a grip on the ball. I think they can make a good run at it. I think they have a good shot at getting to the district finals, honestly, where they might take on Matthews, which I
like Lisbon for the simple fact that everybody's looking at Justice Vrabel as they should. And then you've got a big hitter in McKenna Daly who's been stacking up home runs like pancakes over the last few weeks. And so pick your poison with that. I think and Coach Krisman is way better of a coach than I am, but if you can put Justice Vrabel in maybe the 2 or 3 spot and put McKenna Daly right behind her in cleanup, you could be in for a nice long run because you're not going to put them both on. You know, you're not going to put a runner at first and second base and then have to deal with, you know, 5 through 9. But listen, Lisbon's got they have the tools. It's just a matter of, do they have the timing? So we'll see how Lisbon goes, but I'm with both of you guys on those picks. The one that I'm really interested in is the one we talked about a few weeks ago in Hubbard that took Ursuline to the limit. And a walk-off winner by Emily Holland is the only thing separating Hubbard from being the one in, 18-1 or whatever Ursuline is at this point prior to the Louisville game this weekend. So I'm going to keep an eye on Hubbard. I think that they've got a nice team. They've got the reason for being. They've got the reason for playing, right? They've got a young lady whose family's battling through some adversity with some illness. So I think they got to go. And I think that, you know, again, it comes down to timing. It comes down to a little bit of luck in the playoffs. But this Hubbard team is somebody to not to mess around with. But we're also going to see and get a good look tonight at a good Crestview team and a good Boardman team. And I think this is a great kind of lead into the playoffs for both of these teams. Boardman, red hot. Obviously, you know, they're represented well on the All-YSN team with 2 candidates. And then you've got Crestview. Crestview is a perennial powerhouse. It's seemingly they just kind of walk through the regular season and do what they have to do to get through it and prep. And then all of a sudden they just hit a switch in the playoffs, and they are a team to be reckoned with. So I know Greg Eskra is going to have his team ready, and it all starts tonight. They're treating tonight as a playoff game because they've got to get their stuff together because they're going to have just an unbelievable gauntlet to go through in their bracket. So I can't wait to see this game tonight. What's a team that, you know, obviously I think we can all talk about Ursuline as being a team that we have high expectations for in this playoffs. I mean, what are your expectations for Ursuline? Is it state championship or bust, Quinn?
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the feeling is around the program. I know just in the little bit that I've seen and talking to Coach Kernan with the headed home stuff that we did, I mean, he takes it day by day. You know, he goes game by game and tries not to build up that expectation too much to where, you know, it could deter you. But I think that Ursuline has a legitimate chance of doing that. I think they very well could win state. I mean, they have the great pitching. They're two good starters with Ogden and Holland, and they can hit top to bottom. Every one of them can hit. So I think they definitely are one of those teams that could definitely be in that situation, whether it's kind of state or bust.
I think through this season, Ursuline's been a team that you look at, and it's kind of like that college team playing everybody else in high school, you know, because you said it, 1 through 9, they can hit. I think every player there has a potential of putting one out of the yard with some instant offense. So when you look at Ursuline, yeah, they've got a nice road to get through, but I think South Range probably has one of the, I wouldn't say the easiest road, but they have the clearest path at this point to getting to where they want to go. And South Range is a team that I really think can compete, and this might be one of their better teams they've ever placed out there in South Range. And I know Coach Farron and obviously Coach DeRose are very proud of what they've done in years past, but this might be one of those scenarios, kind of like the boys had a couple years ago, where you get through the districts and you just let it roll. You throw the dominoes down and let them fly. So
I'm
Matt,
actually looking at that bracket right now, the South Range one.
Kind of crazy.
They're on the same side as Champion, so I mean, I'm excited to see how that matchup would be if they get to that situation. I mean, Champion's still technically 3 straight state titles or something like that.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but I mean, you look at that, Quinn, though, but usually they're the ones with the experience, and now the experience is on the other foot. South Range has the experience, so you know, and in these games, it's the experience a lot of times that matters. You know, because sometimes you kind of shrivel up a little bit, you know, whenever you're up against a team like that. And I don't think Champion has anybody or any reason to back down from anybody at all. But I think South Range and teams like South Range and Ursuline have the ability to make you a little bit tense in that box, at least for the first time through the lineup. Matt, your thoughts through this. Billy's chiming in saying he really likes Poland. Is there anybody that you're expecting to see win a district title?
Yeah, I've got 2 schools that I'm really kind of keeping an eye out for, and that's Austintown Fitch. I think, you know, they should really roll. They've got a really solid team this year. I got a chance to watch a few innings when I was out doing a baseball for that. And the other one is, and it might be one of our under-the-radar teams, but McDonald's got the pitching to really make some noise. And I think that, you know, if they can get things right, you know, look out for in that smaller school bracket.
Yeah, I think having Bree in the circle anytime gives you an automatic advantage. Yeah. But, you know, you got Lydia Spalding out there for Fitch, the lefty. She's going to Penn State, and they love her because of the way that she can pitch. I think that you're right. I think Fitch is a great pick. Obviously, when we talk about these things before the show, we want to make sure we're not all saying the same ones. So if anybody's out there saying, wait a minute, what about this team? Yeah, listen, we try to make sure that there's a little, if you know how talk shows work, we try to make sure there's a little wiggle room for you to jump in the chat box and have your voice heard. And we try to spread it around. But listen, I think you're right. Fitch is going to be right there. I think a Champion, you know, Quinn, you alluded to Champion a little bit. I think they're going to be in a different role this year, from being the perennial powerhouse to a sleeper that has to sneak up on teams, which is going to be really interesting to watch. Poland's also a team that we talk about almost constantly that I'm with Billy. If they can keep that offense going, but the trick with softball or baseball is you can't have these rainouts. You cannot. Once you start going, you do not want to stop playing. And just jumping in the gym or jumping in the batting cage does not keep that momentum going. So if you're a team that's hot right now, you certainly don't want, obviously, number one, COVID. And secondly, you certainly don't want, you know, a week off because of inclement weather. So do you feel...
One more.
Go ahead.
One more that we've got, and I think they could make some noise. Columbiana.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest ones for consistency, because we haven't seen a ton of consistency from Columbiana this year because of they play on natural dirt surface. They play in Firestone Park there, and it can get really sloppy really quick in that park. I mean, it doesn't hold rain all that well because it's a typical surface. So, they've got to be careful. They got a nice team that can do a lot of damage, but if the weather doesn't hold, the consistency is going to be out the window. And I think that's been a challenge. You've got two pitchers that can strike anybody out in the Valley. I'm convinced. But will they be able to have that consistency when everybody – I mean, I guess the other team has to play it too, right? The other team doesn't get to just play and then, Columbiana's off. But, it's just going to be – I think Columbiana has one of the tougher roads in this tournament. I really do. And it's going to be interesting to see. But Tori Long, just a junior, so, they've got her for another year. So it's going to be interesting to see if the junior can really put all her chips on the table and let them ride here this year for a nice long state run. So we'll see. Amo chiming in saying, I think Poland or West Branch come out of that bracket. We always overlook West Branch. They have the pitching, they have the hitting, they have it. But talk to me, Matt.
We do it on purpose though, because we know Amo or Paige is going to jump right and leave that door open for them all the time. I don't think that it's never a slight on our part of the West Branch program. We know they'll get represented.
And I think that Jordan Anderson, probably, I think she's among the top stars in the area with the way that she pitches. Her game management is fantastic. And then you look at Sid Mercer, who's just an absolute stud when it comes to, taking leadership and clutch is just, I'm pretty sure it's her middle name. If it's not, it should be, because Sid Mercer is one of the clutch hitters in all of the area. So that West Branch team.
We talk about it all the time, but you've got to tip your cap job that this Woods does out there coaching that program, because they are consistently contenders every single year.
And it's every single sport now. It's not just, it's every single sport. West Branch is there. It's almost Springfield-esque. You know what I mean?
From a girls' athletic standpoint, West Branch has got to be up there near the area.
And I got to be honest, on the flip side of that, the baseball team has been very, very impressive. They beat a Columbiana team, a very good Columbiana team, 5-2 over the weekend. And I think that was a statement game for the Warriors. So very cool.
Well, and there's a lot of people that want to talk about that Canfield West Branch game, but Canfield's going to do that to everybody. Canfield's just – that's a different type of animal.
Yeah, Amos talking about the Canfield Marlington game. If they both get there, his cousin's a freshman on that Marlington team. I'm with you. I think that the game that everybody's looking towards is, and I think they highlighted it on Running Point today, the one that I'm looking forward to big time, and I hate to look past anybody, but if Salem and Louisville match up next Wednesday, my goodness, there's some bad blood there. From the days of the was it the NBC, right?
The NBC days,
where Louisville was kind of booted out of the NBC, or I don't know the whole story how that worked. And now Louisville looking for a little bit of revenge, as if they play each other. If Louisville gets by the game on Monday, they go to the Ray on Wednesday, and yours truly is circled in for that one, like 100% circled in, because I want to be there. These are two teams with a lot of traditionally rich baseball players, great baseball players. I think Louisville is one of the most underrated baseball teams that we have right now. I really do. Because, number one, it's from a distance standpoint. We still have, because of Rob Roberts and everybody out there, we still have a lot of their games on the network. It's just nobody knows about them because they're so laser focused on the Canfields, the West Branches, but we forget about Louisville out there. And Louisville has a great field, a great facility, and they've got a great baseball team. So I really want to see how this stacks up, because people do talk a lot about Salem this year because, well, let's be honest, we're part of that problem. We've hyped them up a lot this year, and for good reason. They're a good baseball team. And that Division II is going to be fun. Between Salem, Canfield, and Louisville, whew, baby. Let's roll.
Throwing West Branch, yeah. There's
West Branch as well, yeah. But West Branch has a different – I feel like I didn't take that good of a look at the bracket, if I'm being honest. West Branch has a little tougher of a bracket, I think. So we'll have the brackets. We'll have all the brackets released here tonight on ysnlive.com, so you'll be able to stay up to date with it and stay up to tune with everything that we have here on YSN. Final thoughts on the softball, Quinn. I know that you've kind of bought into the softball over the past 4 weeks or so.
Yeah, it was a involuntary buy-in because of Billy, but no, I'm loving it. I'm a big softball guy now, better than baseball.
If you had one team to pick to win it all, and nobody can hold it against you if you pick them, who's the one team that you're hitching your wagon to?
I'm gonna go South Range.
Okay, fair enough. Matt, how about you?
It's so hard to pick against Ursuline, and I think that losing to Louisville over the weekend might just be the shot in the arm they needed to get them over the finish line.
I am hitching my wagon to Austintown Fitch. I think they're going to surprise everybody who they haven't already surprised, and I think that I think Maddie Taylor is going to put on a show in the postseason. I think she's going to, might as well call her Zambelli, because she's going to put on a fireworks show for the entirety of the postseason. So I'm excited to see that. And again, if I had to pick 1A, it's going to be Louisville. I like the sleeper.
Yeah.
I like what they did against Ursuline. I like that they didn't back down, and I think that was a wake-up call for Ursuline, as you said, Matt, but I also think it was a wake-up call for Louisville, and that could be a very good thing for both of those teams. So that's going to...
Yeah, it was almost like a, hey, we're still here. Don't forget about us.
Yeah, we still have spots. We're still the Leopards, so don't worry about us, but also don't forget about us. So,
That's right.
and by the way, that call by Ian O'Brien was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Except for he threw in maybe the biggest win ever for the program. I think they had a couple pretty big wins earlier on a couple years ago. But that's just getting to know your announcers with Ian O'Brien. If you know him, you love him. So that's going to do it for the regular segment of the YSN Power Hour. We finish every show, each and every show, with the G. Berwick Farms What's Your Beef, What's Your Filet. It's our opportunity to discuss things that are bothering us or things that we want to put on a pedestal. And today, Quinn, you're going to lead us off. What do you have, brother?
Just the Saturday that we had. It's a complete filet. Being able to go out there and support a fantastic cause, and just seeing everybody come out and support that, doing the live auction and all that stuff. Like, we raised a ton of money, it feels like, for just an incredible cause. And getting to meet Peyton and meeting Angela, and seeing what Steve was able to piece together with us, and having us come out there, and just everything top down, watching you do the auction, watching Jeff roam through fields of people doing Jeff Bezos things, it was incredible. It was a great event, and I look forward to helping out as much as I can forever. And that is a lie as well, Mr. McCartney, because I have a text to prove it. And it is, give me 1 second so I can pull this up. It is right there. Address to Billy. So
that's blurry.
To you.
That was blurry. All right, Matt, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm going with a surprise filet today, and it's a surprise filet because it's an often maligned organization, and that's the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. I had to go and renew my driver's license and my registration today. I had heard nothing but horror stories about dealing with the BMV and the pandemic situation. I got there at 8 a.m. to the Alliance location. I was the third person in line, and even with having to basically auction off my firstborn child, give a DNA sample, and all the other things you have to do for the new driver's license, I was in and out in 25 minutes and on my way to Palestine so that I could, join DJ there at headquarters in Stream City, USA. So hat tip to the BMV for doing a better job than I expected.
That's impressive because they don't get a hat tip ever.
No.
Ever. I'm going to go with a filet as well, and my filet is going to be with one of our sponsors here, and it's not because they sponsor us, it's because of what they do, and that's Mill Creek, and Brian Tonar and the whole crew out there, Stacy as well, at the Mill Creek Golf Course, and I got to say, if you haven't been, you need to go, because I went there on Saturday. It was a Callaway event, and it was really cool to not only be a part of that, but kind of go through the process and see what it's like from that standpoint of what golfers go through, like what real golfers, not like guys like me that have, you know, a $200 set from China that's 12 years old. And, you know, it's a huge difference in going and getting golf clubs nowadays. The technology is unbelievable. So I'm excited. I've got a whole set of clubs coming, courtesy of Callaway. So I'm represented. I got Big Bertha in there, and very fortunate, obviously, to be able to do it. But Brian and the whole crew out at Mill Creek, they're trying to bring golf back. They're trying to bring entertainment and engagement back to the area and things other than just golf. So I would say that if you're able to get out there to the Mill Creek Golf Course and introduce yourself to Brian, if you're looking to get better at golf, take a couple lessons from him. He's one of the best in the area, the most knowledgeable pros that we have here in the Youngstown area. Those are always available as well. But take advantage of the course. It's one of the best courses, I think, in the area. That is, I think it's $36 for 18. So you think about that. That's a couple bucks a hole. And that leaves you with a couple bucks and a couple shillings and or shekels or whatever you want to call it in your pocket that you can wager during the fun. So thanks to Brian, the whole crew out there, and Callaway. Big things to come from all of that stuff. So I'm excited to be able to pass that along over the next few weeks. But excited to finally be one of those guys that can. I'm proud of my golf clubs. I don't have to hide them and pretend like hit it and just wipe it off, pretend like I don't have them. Listen, my first set of golf clubs are black and gold, and I think we all know why they were black and gold.
Hey, you're right though. In all seriousness, if you're a guy that enjoys golfing and loves to get out there and play a bunch of golf, seriously, if you haven't done it, go get fitted for golf clubs because it'll take your game to the next level.
The best part about Saturday was I didn't know what to expect. I'm not a good golfer, right? And I went to the range before just so I didn't look a complete bonehead when I was swinging, even though I still did. But I will say this is there was zero judgment. They just said, what's your game? Like when he asked me what I shoot normally, I was like, not good. He's like, but you have a number. I said, nope. Couldn't tell him a number. I said, I don't get out enough to do that. I said, I'm a business guy. I like playing golf. This gives me the opportunity to play golf with some of our clients and like Amo, like heading out and hitting him with Amo at the Berlin Lake. I'm excited for that. I really am. And hitting the back nine on the way back, right?
That's right. Yeah. Always got to hit that 19th hole.
That's right, dude. I'm excited. We're going to be shooting a commercial here pretty soon for them as well. And we're, again, so grateful that Amo and his crew came aboard. So make sure you're out there visiting them too, because what a great golf course that is. And as good as the golf course is, which is priority number one, right? You always have a quick 1A, which is what's at the turn. What are we going to get? Right. What kind of food do they have? And Dar, I hear, really does a really good job in that kitchen. So we're excited to get out there, next week after, something like that?
Yeah, sometime in the next week or so here. It'll be exciting. And I got to tell you, Dar's a local legend in the Sebring community. Her and her sister had a restaurant in town. And so, if you've ever, had Dar's food, you're definitely coming back because you definitely want to have it again.
I'm stoked. I can't wait. I already told Quinn and Betos that when these clubs come in, they're done. Like their reign as champion is over at YSN.
No more.
Quinn, anything?
Whatever you say.
That's what I like to hear. I don't hear that very often. All right, let's wrap it up. I got to get to Crestview. Coach has to get to Louisville. And Quinn, you've got practice. So that's going to do it for the YSN Power Hour for this Monday. Enjoy your beautiful day outside. Is it a little chilly out there, I think?
60s.
57.
Yeah, you're fine. I got a hoodie on. I'll be fine. So enjoy your day. Go take a walk. Enjoy the beautiful sunshine. We didn't see it for a week, so stop complaining about it. Look up and enjoy your blessings. For Matt, for Quinn, I'm DJ saying so long and fly the freaking flag.